is part 7 in the Omega Red blind playthrough video series thing, and I hope you're enjoying it. I'm enjoying the game a lot more than I originally was. There's definitely one thing I forgot to talk about was, I don't know if I just don't remember the characterization of Team Magma or while I played Team Aqua, or they improved on it, but I'm definitely liking the different villains. You've got the calm, cool, collected maxi leader. You've got the underling admin that's not necessarily sure if what they're doing is a good idea, and you got the lady who's definitely a robot, like, or an android, cyborg, something like that. But I don't know if it's just better presentation or what, but I'm kind of digging that. They seem like a stronger, one more interesting villain faction than they originally did. So that's definitely cool. When it comes to the 7th gym, it seemed like a long journey to get there. And I'm at the point where I'm kind of rotating out some of my stronger Pokemon so I don't over-level them, and because I just have the ability and time and resources to put that experience to a different Pokemon. So I caught a bunch of Pokemon in the Safari Zone, and one of them was a Heracross, and I have never really used a Heracross for Elite Four or anything like that, not that I can remember. So I figured I'd do that. I got one that was good for speed, so I strength trained and speed trained it. And I don't know if that'll be one that's in the Elite Four, but I figured it was a cool thing to have. I also used a Aggron with training for HP and attack. And he just evolved, I want to say. So one thing I did catch between the 6th and the 7th gym was an Absol. Figured that'd be a good thing to... And again, there's another thing I never really used, so I figured it'd be a good thing to fight the Psychic double trainer gym. And I didn't realize it would have an Absolite, and that I would pick it up before the 7th gym, so that was good. But I think the Absol Mega Evolution looks really cool with its wings and all that sort of thing. Again, it's probably not a terribly game-changing evolution, but it does have some cool stuff. I do like the magic bounce ability, though it does lose its super critical thing. And its attack is just ridiculously high at this point. I did train this one to have attack and speed boosts, so it's doing pretty well so far. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I added to my team between now and then. I've been catching all the Pokemon I can, picking up all the Mega Stones that I can, but nothing too major added to the team, I don't think. Yeah, I can't think of anything. My Shift Tree, or I evolved my Seedot into the Shift Tree to help face the Psychic Gem, but it really wasn't a big issue. Since I had the Grass starter, and since he had a very good... Well, I guess I should start from the beginning. My Pokemon were leveled about as high as the Psychic Gym's double Lunatone Soul Rock combination, and I decided to use the Absol and the Sceptile, and I had the Shiftry as backup and a couple other things that would have done pretty well. I wasn't counting on the Sceptile pretty much defeating them single-handedly. I realized that I had 2 Megastones, and for at least it was in the last game, you can only use 1 Megastone per battle, so I put it on the Absol and put the money thing on the Sceptile. The Sceptile, I think, killed one of them in one shot with its Leaf Blade, and then the Absol missed because it was doing Sucker Punch. I guess that Pokemon wasn't necessarily using an attack, and then the Sceptile took the other one out in one turn, so I remember that gym being a little bit harder, but I mean, the fact that your Pokemon was at such a high level, and since I had the Grass Pokemon, and he has... I think Leaf Blade was in there the first time. So, yeah, he kicked some ass. Trying to think if there's anything else to say. High-level Pokemon right now are Gyarados with the Water Tail and all that. Gyarados, Absol, Manectric, Gardevoir, Sceptile, Aggron, Heracross. There's a Magneton in there somewhere. Still don't really know what I'm doing for the Elite Four, but I guess I finally got a Super Rod, so maybe I'll catch some decent water Pokemon, but I'm pretty much just playing with all of the old favorites I had. I'm kind of thinking I don't necessarily have a need for an Ice Pokemon or a Fire Pokemon, I'm thinking. Just because usually I go in with the Fire Pokemon, but the Fire selection is like Camerupt, which is cool, but I mean, it's got low defenses and low speed, so that's not necessarily the greatest thing. Don't have access to a Blaziken. The other thing is like the Slugma Pokemon, I think Torkoal, so there's not that many fire Pokemon. And the ones that are there, I'm not too terribly interested in, so we'll see what happens. I got a couple more videos in this series. Obviously, the lead up to the 8th gym, and then the Elite Four preparations in Elite Four. But let's be honest, like with the experience share, I'm gonna be okay for the Elite Four unless something ridiculously crazy happens, or Steven has some crazy stuff, or I'm assuming he's gonna have Mega Evolutions. I'm trying to think of his original team. Like I hadn't thought about this until now. Pretty sure he's got some sort of fossil Pokemon and a Metagross. And I know based upon the commercial, which is one of the only things I'm going to get to this with, that there is a Mega Metagross. So that I might need to be on the lookout for. So what can kill a Metagross? I guess it would be a fire Pokemon. We'll see.